Here we have a new 2025 Toyota Corolla Cross. This one comes in the basic L trim level in windshield pearl. And then we do have gray cloth interior. The powertrain consists of a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, and that's mated to a continuously variable transmission. Now, as we come around to the front end here, we do get standard LED headlamps, which is nice, and a nice front fascia here, even without all the dressiness of maybe an XLE, the higher trim levels there. And I really like how they did the grille, even though you have this big kind of black plastic bumper here. Love how they did the grille, and then the gloss black on the outer portion. It looks really stylish, even though this is the basic trim level. Also a nice touch here, these are steel wheels, but these are 17-inch steel wheels. The covers really make the wheels pop, and they don't look cheap either. So far I'm pretty impressed by how they did this. Now for the windows, we get one touch up and down on all 4 doors. Power mirror controls are there, rear window lock, power door locks, and then heated side mirrors there. And sorry if the wind noise is coming through. Auto high beams are there, hood release is there. We get a manual tilt, telescoping steering wheel. And then here's our 6-way manual driver's seat. But a huge thanks to John Roberts Toyota for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. Now I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, so sitting behind myself, that's the space, and it's not terrible. Again, this is a Corolla. It's a Corolla SUV, but still, I mean, the space in here is pretty good for what it is. Rear AC vents are down there, and there's a view of the front from back here. Love that we get the nice LED reading lights throughout. No fold down middle seat there, but we can hang probably a shirt or pair of pants there. I wouldn't do a uniform, it doesn't seem that sturdy. And then child locks are right here, lock, unlock on either side. Have a fuel door. There's the latch for that. So if you're worried about people coming in here siphoning your gas, this model does include that lockable gas tank compartment, so that's nice. Now as we come around to the back end here, the tail lights, I don't think the tail lights are LED, but the stop lights are. So if you look closely, those are just regular, but the LED stop lights are right there. So that's a nice touch as well. And there's the exhaust underneath. Manual lift gate. Great space back here. Kind of have a nice long side pocket here. Also on this side too, so that's helpful. And then lift up here, there's your spare tire and the jack right underneath. Nice light in the back too, so. Now as we come around to the rear passenger side, then fold the seat down by pulling this here, and it'll fold flat when the seats up front are up far enough. Top tethers for the car seats are integrated in the back of the seat themselves. Very easy to put it back into place. And then you have your covers for the anchors there. And then you can't adjust these at all. I was gonna see if that could move, but. And I like to test that because it's really hard having like I have a kid with longer legs, and it's very hard to put her in the back seat of my Mach-E because I can't lean that seat forward or back to kind of adjust with the car seat. But here's the window sticker here. You all can pause anywhere you need to if you want to take a closer look at anything. Fuel economy numbers are great for a vehicle like this, in my opinion. 31 city, 33 highway. Sticker price $26,414. And then over here we have a 4-way manual front passenger seat. Glove compartment down here with the owner's manuals. As we come back around to the front end, just a quick look in the engine bay. And there's that 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Now for the blinkers, since those use a stoplight, you can see how bright those are. But then we just have like a halogen incandescent bulb right there up front. So interesting. Let's hop in the driver's seat. So hard vinyl steering wheel here. There's the horn. Over here to the screen, this is an 8-inch screen. I apologize for this being an LED screen. It kind of flashes at me like that. So hopefully that brightness adjustment will help. We get AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth, wireless CarPlay, and Android Auto compatibility. You have the option to go through the navigation subscription there. And then in your settings here, go to general. You can adjust your date and time or your language and units of measurement right in there. And then you do get a 4G Wi-Fi hotspot, which is nice, but that's pretty much where everything is. Bluetooth's pretty easy to do. Just search for devices. There's your backup camera there. No guidelines on this one. Well, they don't turn at least. There are the hazards. Now down here, you do get your single zone climate control, so you just adjust temperature on either side there. Fan speed on or off, defrosters, fan direction can be changed there. USB-C port, decent sized storage there. Behind the shifter, traction control toggle, and your auto stop toggle there. Now to put the vehicle into gear, you just grab the lever on the back of the shifter, reverse, neutral, drive. Come over here and you can get those simulated shifts in the manual mode. And then down here, your electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down to disengage. Your auto hold toggles there. And then bottle holders in the middle. Center console cubby space, you get a USB-C charge port and a 12 volt. And then up here, lights. Set that door, whether the lights come on, whether the door opens or not, and then your SOS right in there. There's a view of the back seat from up here. Vanity mirror, no light. Now back to the steering wheel. Blinkers on the left side stock. High beams, flash. You can turn on just the daytime running lights or the low beams here. And then you have your intermittent wipers, one time off, intermittent low, high. And then you have your digital part of the gauge cluster that can be used with these 4 arrows, the OK button and the back button here. So you have all those different things you can fool with. You get tire pressure monitors there, and then you can fool with your lane departure and everything else. And then your vehicle settings, you can fool with all that too. But Bluetooth, volume, voice recognition, and then we do get the 3.0 here, so change your mode from adaptive to cruise here, adjust the gap with the driving support system, and then once you have this activated, adaptive on, hit this and that activates everything. And then your audio sources can be toggled here. Track list and radio station presets can be gone through here. And then key fob, it's a turn key, so it's in the ignition right now. Let's go ahead and take this 2025 Corolla Cross L out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Corolla Cross here, you get decent pickup. Kind of weird in terms of how it feels right now. And you know, every so often you'll get a new vehicle that something ain't right with, and it just, something feels a little off with this transmission, but we'll see if we can hammer that out on this test drive here. I'm in the eco mode now, which basically just comes on or off based on throttle response. Let's see if we can turn on the driving support system. All right, so there's that. Lane centering, adaptive cruise is on. And I really like the system. I've used it a million times in different vehicles, and it's just a really good system. The Safety Sense 3.0 in particular. Really the 2.5 is also really nice, but this just feels a bit more, with the lane tracing assist and all that, it feels better than the other one that has the same lane tracing and whatnot. So I'm just glad that Toyota seems to be just kind of always trying to improve on their driving support system. Now this is under 26 grand. I do think there's a lot missing here. So I noticed that we don't have blind spot monitors on this one. I feel like that's kind of a letdown, but honestly, I don't ever use mine. I just check the mirrors, but I like having the adaptive cruise and the lane centering in my car as well. So I could see why getting rid of that might be okay for a lot of people. But this L is definitely bare bone. I don't see any automatic headlamps. Now they might be automatic if I have them on low beam, but there's not something that tells me, hey, these are auto, except the high beams are auto. But that's just part of this safety system anyway. I like that we get the steering wheel mounted controls for the audio system, again, even in this L. And I like that even though this is a single zone manual climate control system, it doesn't look like a base HVAC system, if that makes sense. Like the buttons look nice, the knobs look nice. I love the animation there, the graphics. It doesn't look like a cheap climate control system. But obviously there are other things that you can kind of sense. This not having the light on the vanity mirror, and then just not having push button start. But again, not really something that most people will miss unless they're coming from that. I do feel like this drive is more like a RAV4 than a Corolla. A lot of that just has to do with the overall size, the dynamics, the steering feel, and everything. And it makes you realize how similar the driving dynamics are in a Corolla compared to a RAV4. But this is probably one of the easiest vehicles to drive, at least in terms of those that have a hatch, that are considered a small SUV. It really does drive like a small car. And the visibility is good. The hood is, I can barely see it, but it just makes it so easy to see what's directly in front of me. So if I need to get close to something, pulling forward, that won't be an issue. Then of course you have the backup camera if you need to back up. So I just think a good solid vehicle for the $26,000 price point, just based on the features that you get. And the overall ride so far has been quiet. The tires, I can hear them on this rougher industrial road here, but other than that, I mean, it's just a really nice overall feel here. Now, I do want to give one more thanks to John Roberts Toyota for allowing me to review this vehicle today. But if you're looking to find something closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. We're gonna give it a pull here. Here we go. So got up to speed really nicely, and I think I'm gonna get backed up. Well, maybe not. There's some construction going on in front of me, so I'm hoping I don't have to stop the test drive, but the car just rides really well. The overall driving feel is nice. The steering dynamics, again, if you're looking for a small, compact SUV, if you even want to compare this to the Chevy Trax, this just feels right. It feels nice. It has all the features that you could expect and more in the basic trim level. Big plus having lane centering here. But an overall, I think, solid car for the money. Whether you're trying to compare it to small SUVs or not, I mean, a 26 grand car is really considered cheap these days, but especially for something that has the features that this has, the room that this has, even the powertrain that this has. I don't feel like this is underpowered with the 2-liter 4-cylinder. And there's a driving support system again. It just makes these highway drives so much better, in my opinion. And the sound acoustics you can hear are great. Again, for what this is. Just something that I could see myself road tripping in. Now, specifically if it's just me and I don't have to worry about carrying a stroller or something like that, because this isn't a Pacifica, this isn't a Tahoe, so you still don't have a ton of room in the back for beach gear and things of that nature, but there is a lot that you can do with this car. And again, for the amount of money you have to spend to get one, I'm definitely not disappointed with what I'm seeing here. But this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Toyota Corolla Cross in the L trim level.